Yes. Hello, everyone, and welcome.
Are we looking at the camera?
I think so, yeah. I mean, we'll look at each other. But then sometimes we have to look at the camera. It'll be awkward. Okay, scratch that. Okay. Okay. Good evening, everyone from downtown Hollywood, Florida. We are officially doing our first episode of our podcast.
Welcome.
Yes, welcome. The Babettes. That's us. I am one of your hosts, Brittany.
And I'm Brandy.
Insert clapping. So this first episode, well, first of all, let's just do a little quick introduction to the Babbling Babettes podcast. This is going to be a space where we can be our true, authentic selves. One thing that I want to emphasize is that there's going to be drinking alcoholic beverages. There's going to be cursing. Cheers.
Cheers.
It may not be as PC all the time.
PC.
Politically correct.
Got it.
So you're warned. You've been warned now. This is kind of literally an after hours thing for us where we can just kick back and be ourselves without putting on the social media act like a lot of us have to do to make a living and whatnot. So this first episode is just going to be an introductory thing, introducing for those of you that don't know us, myself and Brandy, a little bit of our background and backstory and how we got to where we are now. And that's kind of it.
Summed it up perfectly.
Yes. So we'll just jump right in. Some of these questions we've gotten from via Instagram, and then some we kind of just came up with off rip to ask each other, so that you guys can get to know us a little more intimately, if you will. So the first question we'll start off with, because it has to do with where we are, is how did Old Ghost start? So for those of you that are just watching this out of, I don't know, you just stumbled upon it, we are in Old Ghost of Hollywood, which is located in downtown Hollywood, Florida. And we're a vintage antique gift shop here, and we kind of specialize in just all things weird and unusual and fun. We do photo shoots here, we do prop rental, and we're also connected to Creepy Tiki Tattoo, which is, you guessed it, a tattoo shop. So there's always action going on here. Old Ghost started we're going on 5 years now.
When is 5
almost
years?
In spring of next year. I know, I'm old. So really making a long story short as possible, because I've told this a million times, but basically for those of you that don't know, Creepy Tiki used to have a bar and a music venue.
I wish I was there.
Yeah, it was good times. But sadly, in 2016, the bar closed, and we still had this huge room that we weren't doing anything with, yada yada. So around the same time, serendipitously, if you will, we had started to accumulate a lot of the stuff that you see and hear now. And at first we were really wanting to do a museum, but then I'm I remember having the conversation of, well, when I go on vacation and I go to a museum, sometimes there's nobody in there, and I'm the only person in there. So that was definitely a fear of mine, was what if nobody comes to our museum? How are we gonna make money? Because even though this is a labor of love and a passion and everything, at the end of the day it is a business.
Yeah. So
we have to be able to pay our bills. Luckily, all those things are true, and we are able to pay our bills. But it didn't start out that way. Obviously, we wanted to do a museum because we didn't really want to sell anything. And it just kind of, we started the Instagram, and that's how it just took off. This was when Instagram was fun and nice. But yeah, it blew up and turned into something that we never even really dreamed of, I guess. So I already said how long we've been open, almost 5 long years.
So was it your idea to, like, how was the seed planted, really?
So so for those of you, again, who don't know, that phrase is like gonna become repetitive. But, so I'm co-owner of Old Ghost. My partner Jackson, who's the owner of Creepy Tiki, it was like a collective thing of like, we started to kind of put the things around the tattoo shop, and it already slowly started to like form this museum-esque feel.
Mm-hmm.
And he really did not want to sell anything in the beginning.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, but like we got to. So really, like I said, like the Instagram kind of like pushed both of us to be like, oh, we could do this.
There's
actually.
here,
yeah. And so that's kind of like how it really came about. I think that he will also like admit that I was definitely like the driving,
right,
pushing force behind, okay, let's do a store, like
right,
full blown, like let's do it. And then that's just kind of what was born. It's ever evolving still to this day. Like it's changed so much over the last 5 years, or almost 5 years, which is great. And but yeah, so that is Old Ghosts. For those of you that didn't know, you can follow us on Instagram, Old Ghosts of Hollywood. Facebook is the same. TikTok is the same.
TikTok, guys.
We're getting on the top.
Follow us on TikTok at Old Ghost of Hollywood.
Yes. Brandy makes most of our videos, if not all of them. So who is Brandy? Who is Brandy?
That's what I want to know.
Please explain to us, who's Brandy?
Who is Brandy? I feel like that's a question for you. Who is Brandy?
Brandy is
I am
my
like,
right leg.
Yeah.
Like I can't live without her anymore.
Who's Brandy? I am a newly added family
It's been a
member
year.
of Old Ghosts. It's not been a year.
It's been a year this month.
I guess, yeah. Well, no. 'Cause
Maybe September.
We met last year this time, I feel like.
No, sweetie.
No?
I had put out the thing looking for somebody to do photography for the website in like August, because I remember I really started going in with the website in August, but I was like super overwhelmed.
Oh, I forgot about that. I don't know why I thought that I had come. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, that's how I really initially met you.
In my mind, I was thinking we met through Paper Moon Age. Well, technically
on Instagram.
Yeah.
But I had no idea who you were until Nicole, who one day you guys will probably meet, was doing my hair. She started talking about Paper Moon Age and was like, "It's my friend Brandy," and I'm like, "What? Who's Brandy?" And then just this weird turn of events. I was looking for a photographer to help me with the website. She reached out to me, and I still had no idea that you were Paper Moon Age at that point. And then when you came in, I was like, "Oh my god!" And when she came in, I was like, ready, like my claws were already out, ready to dig into her because she was perfect.
Oh my god.
Everything about her.
So yeah, I guess. Well, the question is, who is Brandy? So yeah, I'm newly added family member here at Old Ghost. Like, I don't know. To me, I
consider it a year because you
I
really
guess
started
it has been a year
in October. Because then we did the Ghostly Gala, and you were. That's when I offered the full-time gig.
Yeah. So weird, time is just gone by so fast. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy. Oh yeah, it was our 1-year anniversary the other day.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Instagram.
So yes, Brandy, she doesn't like to talk about herself, so I'll toot her horn. She works in the store. It was just
like one of those things. It's like, who are you? Who are you?
Well, I mean, like here.
Right.
Because I think we did introduce you, but in the beginning, we haven't really done like another refresher for new people. So she helps me. She works in the store here, and she basically helps me do pretty much everything. And then the best part about our relationship, I think, is that we're like twin flames creatively.
Yeah.
We like see eye to eye, like on pretty much, I would say everything.
Very much when it comes to aesthetics.
Yeah.
I think, and just how things are supposed to look.
Yeah.
I'll be like looking at something and I'll look at her and I know she's thinking the same thing, kind of thing. So
which is
it's
refreshing because it's very rare.
Very rare.
Yeah.
I think for both of us.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really nice.
So she is our photographer here. All the shoots that we've done here for the last year has been by Brandy. She's shooting, she's editing, video too. She does it all. And she also books outside of the store too, so get at her. She has a really unique style, which we'll talk about in a little bit.
You're welcome.
And but yeah, she's very, really talented, and she's integral here now. So can't ever leave. So my next question is, what do you like to shoot?
What do I like to shoot? Well, obviously I like shooting people. Yeah, I like shooting people. I also like shooting, like when I'm traveling or if I'm somewhere new, I kind of like to, I guess, capture like little moments that I'm just kind of in the moment.
Yeah, you're very good at that. It's very,
that's something that
romanticized.
I guess that's
which is like
the word
that I use to describe everything that she does.
Yeah,
it's very romantic, like anything and everything, even little videos, everything that you put out.
So that's kind of my thing. But I don't know. Sometimes that changes too. It's ever changing. But I think the baseline is people. I do like shooting people, whether it's strangers or people I know or people on the street, or if it's, you know, a portrait session. If there's somebody in the photograph, I just think it makes it that much more interesting.
So would you prefer doing something that is like themed and set, or would you like to kind of go in blind and like put things together in the moment?
Both.
Okay.
Definitely both, because I very much like to, sometimes it's like too much where I like want to curate every single aspect of something. So yeah, I do enjoy that, but I also like kind of more candid moments. With the candid stuff, it's more of like, you know, if I'm out somewhere and I see something and I'm like, oh, that's interesting, I want to.
Yeah, she definitely has the eye. I will say that. So I'm gonna stick to the photography topic since we're on that right now. What style of a photographer would you consider that you are, or like what kind of photography do you consider yourself shooting? So
you always use the word romantic, which I think it does check out. So I'm gonna go with that, but also I think in my true Gemini nature, I do think that it changes sometimes, and I'm kind of still figuring that out too. I like to, you know, try different stuff. I don't want to be like pigeonholed too much, but I don't know. Maybe that's also just because I don't know. Like I'll be really into one thing, and then the next week I'll be like, oh, I want to try this, and then that'll be my thing for a while, and then, you know, so it's just kind of like revolving.
I mean, I think that's good.
Like we've talked about before, there's also this like baseline thing with this kind of style I think I've always had. It's kind of like, I keep saying like, I don't know. I always go back to. I'm really drawn to past eras. Mm-hmm. So for whatever reason, so that I feel like in some way or another I've always incorporated. Yeah. That.
Like a vintage feel.
Vintage
in some
feel.
way. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's my next question that I have on here is, what era is your favorite?
So just in general?
Yeah, like what are you drawn to the most, I guess?
Well, I would say different eras for different reasons. I think the kind of like, I guess, imagery that shows up in my photography is more probably like 20s to 40s sometimes. I
mean, just in general too. Like, if you could pick to go back and live in an era, which one would it be?
Oh God, I don't see. You can't ask me that, because to me it's gonna be like, I would like to go to all of them for different reasons. Like, there's not just one, you know. Yeah. Like I could say the 80s because of the music, and you know, but then. I could say like the 1800s because like it's just so many that you could go on forever. Yeah. The 80s it sticks out mostly because of the music. But then like I love the 1940s because of the clothing in that specific time. Yeah. The early 1900s. So I don't know, there's a few.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. Mine's definitely Art Deco period. Pretty much my whole house is Victorian to 40s. I do like the 50s for some, like kitchens and bathrooms. I tend to like go 50s.
Interiors,
I don't know why.
Yeah.
But everything else, like bedrooms, living rooms, and everything, and just overall styles, cars, clothing, like you said, hair, just everything. I'm super drawn to like Art Deco, 20s to 40s stuff. Especially imagery, I would say too. What initially attracted you to Old Ghosts? Because she did come in to the store before I ever knew who she was, I ever met her. She filmed.
I did not film. I did take a picture.
You took pictures. No.
I did take a picture.
That is really funny. I think to me that you had come in there before and I just kind of like didn't ever know who you were. Which I feel like happens often here because people are just, I don't know. I think that a lot of people, which is just kind of segueing real quick into something else, but a lot of people, like, again, and this just goes with anybody and everybody, like they see someone on social media so much and they think that they're like this larger than life like thing, but really it's not that. Like it's not at all. So like people do that a lot with me where like they're seeing me on Old Ghost Instagram all the time, and it's great. Like I love it. I've had people that have come up to me locally, like in Fort Lauderdale, that are like, oh my god, are you Old Ghosts? To me, I'm like gonna throw up in my mouth because like, what?
Right.
Like I'm nobody.
It's a very strange, bizarre thing that happens.
Very. But it's also really cool. Like I'm super awkward, so I can't say that I love it when that happens because I just don't. I'm like, oh, what? Like, okay. But in retrospect, I'm like, that is really cool because I've made an impression on somebody that, like, you know, they want to come up to me and be like, oh my god, are you Old Ghosts?
Yeah.
So that is really cool. But back to my initial question, what initially attracted you to us?
I mean, that's a hard question to answer because it's like, what didn't? You know, you walk into the store and it's like you're just, if you're not enchanted by what you're seeing when you come into the store,
you're dumb.
It's kind of like, I don't know.
You're dumb.
I don't understand that.
You're dumb.
So, to me, it's like a no-brainer. To me, it was like, you know.
Yeah.
It feels like, it was, for me, it was kind of like, I was looking for something. I didn't know exactly what it was, but it was like I knew it when I came.
Yeah.
Here? I don't know. Or when I guess when I started here.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, it just sounds corny, but it feels like you're going home. Yeah, I mean, this is just great. Like, I feel really lucky to just come to work and I get to be around this stuff all the time, and, you know, it's great. Sometimes I'll be here and I'm just kind of looking around and I'm like, wow. Like, I get to just come to work and do
it's
this.
very
like,
special.
it's
Definitely
really
is.
insane.
I think that's, like, again, touching back on like that, at the end of the day it's a business and stuff. I actually was just talking to Jackson about this the other day, which you guys will eventually meet. He's going to be a guest on here. But we were talking about how, like, business is so hard when you're like the business owner and you also love the thing at the same time, because you a lot of times lose that gusto, like that spirit and that like 100%. Energy, because then you're worried about like counting every dime and every dollar and like the stress of paying the rent and paying the bills and the overhead and, like, you know, just making sure that everybody else that's doing their job is taken care of, and it's not fun sometimes. It's not fun sometimes, and it's like this, like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, I just feel like I'm on the treadmill constantly, like running faster and faster, and the incline just keeps getting higher and higher to like stay with this grip on my like passion for the store, because it's very easy to lose it, just because of people and everyday life and stress and things being expensive and whatever, like real life shit. And this time of year is my favorite, I would say, like from now till like December, because of the holidays, and like it just kind of like reawakens this thing in me that during the summer dies. sadly.
Just for us all.
Yeah, it gives me like the chance to kind of like reboot myself.
It's
honestly,
so weird. Like when this time of year comes around, the world starts to feel normal again.
Yeah.
Like how I don't know.
Definitely.
And then comes the new year and it's like, fuck.
Yeah, I think it's like just that phenomenon of like people. It's for me at least. I think it's like the nostalgia that like you everybody. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Everybody like longs for that feeling of when you were a child.
Of course.
So when like Halloween comes around or Christmas or Thanksgiving or whatever it is that you guys celebrate, Hanukkah, you like want to recreate that.
Yeah.
Even if you're an adult, even if you don't have kids, and like that part of yourself, I think for most people it always is like alive. For me, it's very much alive. Yeah, the stress of normal life has beat it down a little bit, but having this store, it fuels my inner child, I guess, a lot, which is like the great part.
That checks out. That makes sense.
But okay, so we're gonna go on to the next question, which is, where does your personal style come from?
My personal style. God, I don't know. I mean, I guess we could go back to like growing up. I mean, I went through every phase possible. Like I went through every single phase, pretty much.
Me too.
And then I think like come middle school is when I kind of started getting into different kinds of music, and then that really influenced the way that I dressed. Just a lot of black.
Yeah.
I got really into AFI. That was my first concert ever. And that had like a huge impression on me. So I think that really is where that comes from, is that time. And then just kind of from there. So I think overall it's probably the music that I'm listening to, movies. Sometimes it'll change a little bit, like the bass line is just lots of black.
Yeah.
Always, that's what works. But yeah, if there's sometimes if I watch something and I'm inspired by something, I might dress like that for like a couple weeks, and then but pretty much it's just mostly black. It's easy. Usually.
Yeah.
Finding certain
stuff
things are annoying. Where the fuck is it? Like when you're looking for something in the morning.
Yeah.
Like a certain
No, but it's the worst because it's
clothing.
black, so everything looks the same.
Everything is black. Yeah, you can't find it.
So you're
this
like
morning. I have
just throwing shit.
10 pairs of tights.
Yeah.
And 9 of them are ripped. So I'm looking for that one pair that are not ripped, and I can't find them.
The golden egg. Yeah, I would say the same. I mean, if you are watching this and you've known me since I was a child, you'll know that middle school I was gothic.
Yeah.
Like I was like, slip my wrist. And I always feel like that was like my true self. Going in, I was always a cheerleader though, which everybody's like, what? When I tell them that. But for years, since I was a little 9, like 8, 9 years old, I was a cheerleader all throughout high school. And going into high school, I still was like, we're kids, so like peer pressure is there.
Yeah.
All my friends were like preppy, and that's how they dressed, and they would kind of be like, why are you like wearing that?
Right.
And shit like that. So I kind of was definitely like influenced to go this other way with the way that I dressed. And so all throughout high school I was pretty much I would say, like typical cheerleader, whatever, but never really felt like I was me, if that makes sense. I always felt like I was like a shell of myself. And then when I got out of high school, I went and I was working at Disney, and there I worked all the time, so I just kind of wore like shorts and a t-shirt every day. I didn't really have personal style at that point. That job was like my life, and it was great while it lasted. But I would say within the last like 10 years was when I really came into like who I've always been, I would say, and stopped caring about what people thought. I definitely was a person that I used to like care a lot what other people thought or how people perceived me. And the most freeing thing that you can do in your life is not give a fuck, truly.
Yeah.
And I know that, like, I've been hearing that since I was like a teenager, like in middle school, and you think at the time like, oh, I can never do that, but you can. And when you do, it's like the best thing ever. So yeah, I'm the same way. I think I see things that like inspire me and I'm like, I like that, you know, whatever. I don't really have a certain era or style or whatever. It's black, red. And that's pretty much standard every day. Okay, so
I feel like we should be like taking turns.
oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
You want to switch? Oh, we only have one card left.
I guess that's how I imagined it.
Wait.
It's okay. Are we missing a card?
I don't know. Did you write 2?
There we go.
Oh, it's on the back. Okay, so we technically have 2. Those are yours anyway.
Okay. All right. So, Miss Brittany, where do you go for inspiration?
Oh my god. Anything old, really.
Yeah.
I like to look at old horror films. Like the other day, I mean, it's Halloween now. Like October.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to
What?
cut you off. No, keep going. I guess what I meant by
Like in general?
Yeah, like
Well,
like
that
what
is-
inspires you to wake up? Okay.
Well, okay. What inspires me to wake up is old ghosts. I mean,
Okay.
just straight out the gate.
Yeah.
I've been very open on my social media about mental health.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of battles with mental health over the years.
Yeah.
Been suicidal, been all of it. I'm not scared to talk about it. I'm not ashamed to talk about it. I think everybody should talk about it, and we would do a lot better.
Agreed.
So I've, again, been like very open about the fact that when I first like started working, not with old ghosts because it wasn't a thing yet, but even with Creepy Tiki, I was sort of in the same place that you were when you came here. Like, I was unhappy in my job. I hated what I was doing at the time.
Yeah.
And looking back, when this whole transition in my life was happening, I unknowingly then was looking for a way out of like the corporate setting, but had no idea how the fuck I was gonna get out. And then Creepy Tiki came about, and I started working in the shop, and then that kind of like led to Old Ghost. But it's, like I said, been no secret that this place literally saved my life. Not to get emotional. But it gave me purpose, which all my life I felt like I was searching for. And I never like felt like I found it, I guess, until we did this store. And then it's not to compare it to having a human child, but it's the way that I hear people talk about human children. It's the reason that I get out of bed. Like, this store needs me. This place needs me. The things in here, don't know what everybody else that's listening or watching believes in, but I believe that there are spirits here, there's energy here, and they need me. I'm their caretaker. Like, me and Jackson, and now you, we take care of these spirits and energies that are here. I mean, we have 100-year-old items in here, so I definitely believe that. So yeah, I mean, this place inspires me to literally wake up and be like, okay, what are we gonna do today?
And I truly see that and believe that too. Yeah.
But then, like, in another facet, in the store, I would say, like, I go back to like vintage horror films, because everything was so campy. Yeah. Like, I just watched Mark of the Vampire the other day. And there's a scene in that movie where Luna and Dracula are like walking down the steps. There's like spider webs everywhere, and there's this bat that like flies past them. And it's like the stupidest, like shittiest thing ever, but it's amazing because specifically like of that.
Yep.
So like stuff like that I love and like want to recreate.
Yeah.
So yeah, that, and then obviously my past working at Disney also inspires a lot of things that I do here, because I get like Disney is controversial now, I guess, but the reality is that there's like nothing to compare that to.
Yeah. Like,
I don't care if you're 85, 35, or 2. You're gonna go there and be like, whoa. Those people really know what they're doing. So like I strive to have that feel here when you walk in, like, oh shit,
creating like a really immersive experience.
You've walked into like another world.
Yeah.
Like you're not in 2022 anymore, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that really drives me. Like I want people to be, when they walk in, I want to hear, whoa, what is this place? Which we do.
Yep, well, every day.
Yes. And you?
What do I go for inspiration?
Yeah.
Oh man, I wasn't prepared to answer that. What do I go for inspiration? I'd say kind of like what I said earlier, music, movies. Movies has a huge influence on my life.
Yeah.
And also like the people around me too. Like if it wasn't for some of the people that I have that are really close to me, like I don't know what I would do.
Yeah.
So that for sure. But it's always changing. You know, it's ever changing. So it's hard. It's a hard one to answer. Anything and everything, really, I would say.
That's good.
Yeah. Okay. Where are you from?
Born and raised Floridian, baby.
Nice.
Yep. Born in Pembroke Pines, and I've lived here
You were born in Pembroke Pines?
all my life. Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What is
you? We want to know where you were born.
I was born in Opelika. Swear to God. Swear to God, Opelika, Florida, baby.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I moved around a lot growing up. Like, I went to a different school almost every year growing up.
That's brutal.
Yeah. Well, as a kid, like, I didn't really realize it until later when I was like, oh, I don't really have any long-term friends.
Right.
And everyone else around me did. But, I don't know. It kind of made me a very adaptable person.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm able to adapt very easily to new situations, new people.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, so I moved around a lot in Florida, South Florida, Central Florida, and then New York, upstate New York. So, yeah, that was... And then I think I kind of started to settle down in high school.
Here.
Still different schools, but at least I was still in South Florida. Yeah. What is one place you are hoping to visit? So I guess that would be like a state or a country.
I really want to go to Switzerland.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful there.
Yeah, I haven't been there. I'm dying to go.
I would say that's like top few. Like Europe generally.
Yeah.
Anywhere in Europe.
Yeah.
I would like to go. I've been out of the country, but like on a cruise, so that doesn't really count. So yeah, definitely like Switzerland. I would say like off rip.
Yeah.
Number one.
I feel like you would love Prague.
Really?
Yeah.
I think you've told me that before.
Yeah. I don't know why I see you in Prague.
Oh, maybe I'm gonna move there.
I see you there. Okay, here's a good one.
Uh-oh.
What would you sing at karaoke night?
Okay, let's be honest right now. We have talked about this question. We went to New Orleans a couple weeks ago. I would say like at least 5 or 6 times I brought it up.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about what song I'm gonna sing at karaoke for the podcast. Like, what would I pick? What would I pick?
There's a few that came up, but it was like, is this really the one?
I really don't know. Like, off the top of my head, because drove to West Palm yesterday.
Yeah.
To pick that thing up, and I'm like listening to all just different kinds of music, and like I'm driving, I'm like, would I sing this at karaoke? Would I sing this at karaoke? So like, Fujiyama Mama by Wanda Jackson.
What the fuck is?
It's a country song. It's an old country song. That's probably like top 3.
Like, you know all the words.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it's like a fun song.
Yeah. Have you ever you never sang it though?
No.
Karaoke? Or you just sing it alone?
Cause it's like, yeah, I sing it alone. My private concerts. Yeah, cause it's like an old song, so like people know it, but like people that like are probably at karaoke, they're gonna be like, what the fuck is this bitch singing? No, it's not on the list. You have to do a special request.
Yeah.
But that's the problem, is that I don't listen to new music really.
Yeah.
I really don't. I hear it in the shop, in the tattoo shop.
Right.
But I don't like get in my car and be like, Siri, play Bad Bunny. Like, I just don't. It's fun, but so I think that would be the issue, is that I'd be like, oh, maybe like
But
90s.
it's not on the roster.
Well, maybe like
They need
90s
to add
stuff.
it to the roster.
Yeah, they do.
That song.
I could do, but I would have to see a list.
I guess, yeah, like, if like, what is the song that you would like to sing?
That's the one I would like to sing.
That's it, then that's the one.
That's it. That's my
That's the one
star
we're gonna
moment.
go with. Alright, do you like surprises?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I don't like to know that they're coming. Like, if I find
well,
out.
Then, well, that's a surprise.
Like, if I find out, like. But I would
well,
generally
I feel
say
like
yeah.
you would find out.
Well, yeah, that's
You-
the downside. Is that I always
You
find out.
gotta
I'm
be-
like,
listen, if you're gonna surprise Brittany, guys, you gotta be really fucking good.
yeah, you do.
You need to be on your A game.
You do.
Because she will likely find out.
I will likely. But I do like them. I think that's why. Because
you're
it's
like,
hard.
damn, they fucking got away
Yeah,
with this shit.
yeah, because
Good
it's hard
for
to do
you.
it. So that's probably why I do really like them.
Yeah, that makes sense. Alright. This is a big one.
Uh-oh.
This is a big one. Is the glass half full or half empty?
Oh, half empty.
I knew that one.
All
was
the
coming.
way, bitch. I've changed though over the years.
So it was half full before?
No. I think I'm like half middle. Because years ago, oh my god, like the glass was fucking almost empty, bitch. But I think like getting older, which a lot of people would say, oh no, you become more cynical as you age and like you become more like realistic or whatever. But I think that I definitely there's a part of me that like I definitely wear rose-colored glasses and I see things. I wouldn't say like a child, but I do try to like see things in that manner because honestly, I think that COVID, generally I would say half empty because like there's always room to improve. But with when COVID happened,
Virgo nature. Oh, that should have been a question. What is your zodiac sign? Miss Brittany, if you haven't guessed, is a Virgo.
yes, Gemini queen. But like when COVID happened, I think that like the whole world was like, we're all gonna die kind of shit. And it was almost like a defense mechanism to be like, no,
100%.
like things are gonna be okay. Like everything will work out. We need to find another way because there was a point where everybody freaked out and was like, well, what's next? What's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Most people thought, including myself, that okay, we'll do this for like a week and then like everything will be fine. Fucking fast forward 4 weeks later,
2 years to go by.
So during that period of time, of course, we had a fairly new business and we're like, we're fucked. Like, what are we gonna do? Because people can't come in. And that's when we really started going heavy with like our online presence. Definitely, we beefed it up like times a million. And it, thank God, worked.
Yeah.
So that was like a huge turning point for me that I'm like, okay, if I think positively, maybe good things will happen.
I truly believe that.
I think that too.
I do.
I mean, I believe that I manifested this building, truly. So I do think that. See, now I'm contradicting myself.
Right, because we said the glass was half empty, right?
Now I'm starting to sound like it's half
She's
full.
telling on herself. She's a half full girl.
Yeah, maybe I am now. I've improved.
So, I believe. So this is my answer. Ready? The glass, it's half empty, but at least it's not empty.
Wow.
Right?
Write that down, everybody.
Write that one
Put
down.
it on a T-shirt. Yeah.
It is. It's
That's
half
like
empty.
how I think, I guess.
A glass should never.
You could
be
always
given
pull it
to
up. Pour it up. You could always pour into it, make it full. I guess that's my outlook. It's half empty.
Yes.
But you can do things to fill that bitch up.
Yes, you
That's
can.
the point.
It's a good one.
Put that on a T-shirt.
Shall we? Another one? Okay. Oh, this is a good one. Can you remember your first celebrity crush? Who were they?
Okay, like first ever. Probably Brian from the Backstreet Boys.
Which one's that? Which one is that?
He's like the blonde one, which like the main like singer.
I'm
Actually,
thinking
honestly,
of-
no. Well, yeah, him, but the dark side of me liked AJ, bitch.
Oh, I remember. AJ, what's his last name? Cannon?
I don't fucking know.
It's when I think of blonde, I'm thinking of
Nick.
Cannon.
No, not
Nick Cannon.
Nick Cannon.
No, I'm thinking
Wrong entirely.
I'm thinking
Nick Carter.
Nick Carter.
No, Brian he had like bangs a little bit. Okay, sorry, I have to look him up to show you
because I can't remember and it's gonna drive me fucking insane.
Oh my god, but I loved him. But I also secretly loved AJ.
Why is AJ the dark one?
He was like edgy. I think he had tattoos and like he had the little goatee.
Okay, I think I know who you're talking
I
about.
was like, oh my god.
I think I know that one.
Okay.
But I feel like I was an NSYNC girl.
I mean, I was both.
Yeah.
But I definitely liked
Backstreet Boys?
I think. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. Okay. Well, AJ got a little more edgy as time went on.
Oh.
But that's Brian. He's not blonde. He's brunette. I'm
okay.
On something. And then AJ. These three, bye.
Goodbye. Okay, I kind of remember now.
Okay. So he was like first. My second love ever. Johnny, baby. Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp. We got two Johnny Depp girls over here.
Oh my God.
If you guys are not new here, you know that. And if you are, now you know. So you already know where we stand on that.
Yes. Fuck Amber Heard.
What were you doing before Old Ghosts? You kind of mentioned it. But.
Yeah, so right after high school, went to Disney, worked in the parks, and then was
what
working
were you doing in the parks?
I was in entertainment, so I was friends with Disney characters. I can't say.
That's right. I'm sorry for asking that.
So
Information.
I did that. It was like still to this day one of the best jobs ever.
Yeah.
It's just you can't compare it to anything.
Yeah.
It's like not real. So I did that and then came back down to South Florida. Stayed with the Disney company, but I was working in the store. So I worked there for 5 years, and in the beginning it was really great. I wanted to get into visual merchandising, and started to go that route. And I also had gone to school at that point to be a medical assistant, so I was doing both, and I fucking just hated my life. Like, being a medical assistant was not for me. Hated it, hated every second of it. A lot of clerical work, a lot of like mundane bullshit every day, like over and over again. And I knew from a very young age that like nothing against people that have office jobs, but not for me.
Yeah.
Like, I could not do it. So I never knew really like what my life plan was ever. Like I wasn't the kid that was like, I mean, when I was really little, oh yeah, I'll be a teacher or whatever the fuck. But like by high school, I was like, fuck, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
And I feel like everybody else around me was like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. So it was a little scary for that time frame, but yeah, like I said, I was like, now I look back, definitely looking for like a way out. So I had already been frequenting Creepy Tiki because an ex of mine was tattooing at the shop. So I'd already known Jackson for like a year or two, and at the time the shop was like way different. It had the bar, it had also a retro style salon in the back, and that's where I went to get my hair done.
Yeah.
And the hairdresser there, we got along really well. I liked her, she liked me, and I forget how it came about, but I started working for her like a couple days a week, doing like more assistant style things, doing her books and booking clients and blah blah blah. And after a couple of weeks there, Jackson just so happened to be like looking for like a shop girl, and he offered it to me, and I was like so sick of my life. And like I've changed a lot, but like back then I was like not a risk taker at all. Like I would sit and think about things like a million times, be like, I'm a little scared, should I do this? Like it's a little crazy. And that was like really the first time that I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna throw all caution to the wind and just jump. And so I did. I put my 2 weeks in at both things and never looked back. So I started at Creepy Tiki and did that for a couple years. I was doing like a lot of the administrative like business type stuff for the tattoo shop, and I slowly got more and more involved, just generally like learning how to run a business, I guess. And then Old Ghost was born, and literally here we are today. So
And that's cool. I think, kind of like you were saying earlier, I think working at Disney probably helped a lot too.
Yeah.
You know, and kind of gave you probably like some sensibilities that some people might not have. You know.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not a Disney personality. Not anymore. I'm not like, hi, princess.
Well, I just mean in the sense of like you said, like creating an immersive experience
100%.
as far as like the music, the
I
smell,
know,
the
yeah.
curation of
Absolutely.
everything.
Like, don't get me wrong and don't get shit twisted here. Jackson has been a huge part of everything.
Yeah.
But over the last few years, he's kind of like taken a step back and let me kind of like do things here, which has helped me grow a lot as a business person and as a woman and like just in every way. And I know as a buyer, as a person that's like looking for this crazy like out there experience, I know what I want to come in and see and smell and hear. So I reference that when I'm doing something in here. It's very important to me. And anybody that knows me closely or has worked here will know that I'm very particular.
Yeah.
Like, I don't fuck around when it comes to Old Ghost and the way that it looks, and if a light is on, and if like the light is too white, it needs to be more amber. Like, I'm very particular, and it's not because I'm a bitch or whatever. It's because I want to give this one of a kind, you're not gonna find this anywhere else experience. That's very, very important to me. I take a lot of pride in that.
Yeah.
And it pays off because people literally travel from all over to come here, which is something I never thought I would even be saying 5 years ago. So yeah, I'm very proud.
As you should be. I think that's the last question.
That's it?
That's it.
Oh my
We
God.
did them all.
Okay, so we're accomplished ladies.
Look
So yeah, we're gonna just take a crack at this. It's gonna be fun. I definitely want to make it like an interactive experience kind of thing where, like, I know a lot of people that follow us on Instagram, I know that they feel like they know me and they know who I am because of Old Ghost, but bitch, you don't know the half of it. So
maybe for the next one, you guys can ask us questions.
Yeah.
And we'll answer them on here.
Yeah. It's definitely, like, we've done it a couple times on Instagram, but I always feel like it's rushed.
Yeah.
And, like, I have to come up with these quick, curated answers to, like, get the point across. This is more of, like, a free-flowing, flexible thing. So I think that, we'll check, like, Instagram and YouTube, because I think we're going to post that on there. And we'll see what kind of questions we can grab from there. And then from what we've discussed, every episode will maybe have like a going theme. Yeah. We're gonna talk about anything and everything. Past relationships, trauma.
Wow, we're going
we're diving
there.
in, bitch.
We're fucking going there.
Anything vintage, like picking, music, movies, photography, true crime, current events, pop culture, really anything and everything. I just feel like we talk about so much shit in general here and like in the shop every day that like why not, I know other motherfuckers can relate or like
100%
join in. We will have guests.
Yes.
So
and if you guys have like an idea for like a theme or something
or a topic
to talk about, throw that in there too and we'll consider it. Shoot your shot, baby.
Okay.
I'm like gonna listen to this back and count how many times I said like.
Oh, and I'm an girl.
I'm an ummer too.
An ummer. So that's kind of it. This is a new fun thing. This is our Halloween episode, probably. Oh no, we could do one next week, maybe.
What, Halloween? Episode? Okay.
We're gonna dress up.
Ooh, oh my god, yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it. And bear with me, guys. I'm very new to this kind of thing. I don't do this kind of shit ever. So we'll get better as we go.
She's getting into her divine feminine energy. Yeah, she needs to loosen up. She will over time. She's loosened up a lot since she started here.
I don't like going on record with things, but this is what we're doing, so this is what it is.
It'll be fine. It'll be fun and fine.
It'll be fun and fine.
Yes, so one more time for for the closing. We are the Babbling Babettes. Brittany and Brandy. What a fucking tongue twister that is. We'll be here next week. Who knows what day? We don't like being tied down to commitments. But for now, look out on Old Ghost's Instagram, which is where we will be promoting this and where you will probably see this first. And we'll post, I guess, when we're gonna do it next. And love to see some of you guys' questions. I know you guys have a lot. You guys come with the fire questions every time we do lives, and things of that nature. So literally anything you want to know, as long as it's respectful and not crossing any weird boundaries.
You know
We will answer. It doesn't have to be like strictly Old Ghosts related.
No.
It could be anything you want to know.
Literally anything, guys.
Yes.
Literally anything.
So ask away. Okay? And next for our ASMR special.
We're out.
Woo!
Good job. Deletes the whole thing by accident. Oh my god, okay, we went on for 51 minutes.
Oh my god, stop.